Welcome to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through the industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Carol Allen, Vedic astrologer and relationship coach, and she is the author of Love is in the Stars, the wise woman's astrological guide to men. Welcome to the show, Carol.
Thank you so much, AJ. It's so lovely to speak with you and be with you.
Same here. Same here. We will be, you're welcome to the show. Welcome to India. Welcome back to India.
I've never been to Delhi, so here I am for the first time.
Very nice. Very nice. So we will talk about the stars, the sun, the moon, and astrology, relationship, dates, fate, and everything with you. You are the master for today. And so my first question to you, Carol, is to understand. You say that love is in the stars. Then where are heartbreaks from? Help us understand.
Well, not all the stars are supportive. So things like timing for love and if you are going to marry or not, if you'll divorce or not, if you and your mate will have a harmonious relationship or not, a passionate relationship or not. All of this is in your chart at birth. And I don't know how much control we have over any of this. I hate to say it. So we can always make things better by learning good communication skills and learning how to ask for our needs and set healthy boundaries. But heartbreak is in the stars too, AJ. I hate to tell you. It is.
Right. So they stay together like man and woman stay together, and they try to. So men and women, they try to find a good quality of communication and keep that relationship alive. Why is it that the stars come in between? Are they very pesky stars, or I must say, how is it that they are not letting the business of love remain with the humans and intruding into our lives from far away? What is your understanding of this? What would you like to tell us humans about the stars and why they are not leaving us alone?
Well, it's sort of like saying, why is the weather not leaving us alone? Why can't you just have it be a sunny day when it's a cloudy day? Or why can't you have it be a day where it's raining instead of hot? You know, we're part of a larger system than just our own free will and our own attitudes and point of view. And we're part of something greater. And all of our cells, all of our atoms, everything that makes us up mirrors the solar system, right? Mirrors the larger universe that we're a part of. Every cell in your body has a nucleus. It has like a sun that is surrounded by planets revolving around that sun. So your very body is made up of billions of little solar systems. So it's not that the stars or the planets are interfering. It's that we're a part of them and they're a part of us.
Okay, we are a part of them and they are a part of.
I mean, science tells us nothing in the universe is ever wasted. Everything is recycled, and that we are literally made of stars. We are literally made of stardust. So there's no separation.
Absolutely no separation at all. But when you go into the dating game or to find the right person for yourself, what are the tricks one can have? Because you say the law of attraction isn't enough and that there is something else which is working. But for a lot of youngsters, a lot of people, this dating game is getting costlier day by day. So your tips will certainly help. I will share you a shot from The Hustle, how this dating game is becoming costlier for people and youngsters. So the average amount of money that one spends, this is from The Hustle, they did a survey, a story around it 2 months back, and it, while uh, thinking of discussing with you, it just came to my mind. So I thought I'll bring it to you. The average
Okay.
cost one particular date is around $68. This is a survey of around 600 plus people, and
Okay.
the average amount of money that one spends, this is, I guess, in the from the US, is around $1,200. So if we look at this figure,
A
then
year? A year?
yes,
Okay.
indeed. But not everybody is rich. So for a lot of people,
Right.
this much of money
Yeah.
can be very costly and difficult to get into this dating game. If this is so, your advice will help them maybe save some money and also save a lot of heartbreaks and find the right people in their life. So how should one get to understand a person, whether man or woman, and save themselves from heartbreaks and understand whether they should wait for the right person that is, that has been, say, okayed by the stars, or should they be living the life of a human and go by the trial and error method and meet the person of their dreams by going through this difficult part? What is your take? What is your advice on this? How does this work? Because your own personal life, when you were into this whole, when we were much
Yes.
looking to find the right person in your life, you had
Yes.
your own experience to share. So
Yes.
trying to understand from your point of
That's
view
it.
about this whole thing.
Well, the first thing I would say is that both men and women have incredible intelligence, right? We come in with so many gifts that are God given. We have a brain, we have a heart that has its own intelligence. We have a gut that literally talks to us. We have neural cells. We have neurons in our gut and in our heart and in our brain. So it's as though we have three brains. And I actually say it's as though we have four brains, because your fourth brain is your soul. It's the part of you that knows things without having any reason to know them. And so, my greatest wish, AJ, is no matter what people believe, no matter what methods people use, my greatest wish is that people would trust themselves and that people would listen to their own body intelligence, whether they meet someone or somebody wants to introduce them to someone or they try to find someone online. What I hear from clients again and again and again, and I've been doing this work 30 years now, is that they always know before they make choices, or as they're making choices, they always know this person's wrong, this person's right. And the people that have heartbreak, because you keep mentioning the word heartbreak, the people that have heartbreak are the people who don't listen to their own intuition and their own intelligence. The people who push away what they know and try to force something to be what it isn't. And I've met a lot of women, especially, who married men because they wanted children and they didn't feel like they had a lot of options. So they said yes to something that they didn't really feel a yes for because they wanted children. So what do they have now? They have unhappy children who were not raised in a happy relationship, in a happy home. And they often have children that are just like the guy they don't like enough, right? So if I can impart anything to your amazing audience, it's to trust themselves and to trust the will of heaven. And you will feel a yes. You will know it's yes. Your heart will say yes. Your gut will say yes. And your brain will say yes. And most of all, your soul will say yes when it's really a yes situation, when it's really right. And if you aren't hearing that, I don't care who wants this for you. And you are in India, where there is a lot of pressure on people to marry and marry young and marry because it's the right person on paper, right? Like they come from the right family. They come from the right religion. They come from the right caste. They have a doctorate, right? They have the MD. They have the PhD. They went to the right schools. They have enough money. I have a lot of Indian clients, and they feel so much pressure. And the women are told, get a degree, become a doctor. And then by the time they're 24, they're told they're too old. You know, I had an Indian man come to me for a reading when I was 26 years old. And when I was 26, I'm now 56. When I was 26, I looked about 12. Okay. So I literally looked like a teenager. And this man said to me, I do not think you are very young. And I was like shocked because everyone thought I was young. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, you must be in your mid 20s. And that is so culturally different from America and from the big cities in America that I was just stunned. And, and this is what I hear from women. So I do not mean to criticize India. I am so grateful to India. I owe India everything. And all of the world's greatest spiritual wisdom comes from India. The whole world should be bowing to India all day long, all day, every day, right? And the Indian people are absolutely amazing. And for anyone young listening, do not say yes until your heart and your gut and your soul say yes. I don't care who is pressuring you. So anyway, that was my very long answer.
Not at all, not at all. And in India now, a lot of education, the government is also putting in a lot of, emphasis on women's education, especially.
And that is
lot of things,
fantastic.
yes,
Education is amazing. And it's part of why Indians in America are the most prosperous immigrant group, because they're so extremely educated. And it's so wonderful.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And now a lot of new fresh understanding of things is developing in India also. But we are also trying to understand, along with the new wave, a lot of people are trying to understand the importance of the old heritage, the knowledge that we have taken from our ancestors, from the
Yes.
from the land that we live
Yes.
in. But for you, how did you come across Vedic astrology, and how do you put into your practice? How do you explain Vedic astrology to your clients down there in the US and outside?
Well, I was very, very fortunate because when I found Vedic astrology, it was so little practiced here. It was extremely rare here. And it was pretty much only studied by very sincere students of different Indian spiritual paths. So it was really only studied by Hare Krishnas, by devotees of Yogananda of Siddha Yoga, or Muktananda. Muktananda had a very, very famous devotee named Chakrapani Ulal, who's one of the most famous Vedic astrologers, who recently passed, sadly. But he came here with Muktananda, and he actually coined the term Vedic astrology. It's called Jyotish, of course, which means science of light in Sanskrit. But it was first found written in the Vedas, which are among the most brilliant wisdom of India, and are some of the oldest books in the world, of course. I'm sure you're well aware. And so I was very, very lucky to live in Los Angeles, where there was actually a school for Vedic astrology. And I met a man who was one of the teachers there by perfect happenstance, by chance, at a party. And he did a reading for me, and he said, you're supposed to be a spiritual counselor. And I had no idea what he was talking about. And, I said, aren't I supposed to be a movie star? So I was so captivated by my reading. It was so comforting. He told me when I would get married 7 years in advance. And long story short, everything he told me happened. exactly as he told me. And so I was so captivated that I started going to this school, and it was only 6 blocks from where I was living. And it was extremely inexpensive. And it was these very small personal classes, because Vedic astrology, Jyotish, is very difficult. It's unbelievably difficult. And most people in India who study it are from families who've studied it for generations, and they learn in what are called slokas. They learn these beautiful songs, and they sing the rules of Vedic astrology all day long, right? So that when they see a chart, all of a sudden a sloka will come alive in their mind, and they'll be able to read the chart from knowing all these songs. Well, it's very, very different to learn it here as an adult. And it's extremely cerebral. It's extremely difficult. I'm so grateful to personal computers, because when I first started studying, we did everything by hand. And there's so much opportunity for mistakes, you know. But I am very fortunate that I have the karma to have incredible gurus and mentors and teachers. And so the brightest minds in the United States taught at this school, and then visiting ambassadors from India, visiting astrologers, would come and teach as guest teachers. So I got to sit at the feet of truly, you know, very experienced, very sincere, very wonderful teachers. And I had been coincidentally initiated by a guru that I met in Oakland, California. I was a student at UC Berkeley, where I got a degree in psychology and sociology, uh, and met Guru Mai, who is Muktananda's devotee who took over the guruship, and had, you know, a Shaktipat experience and started meditating. And all of that is actually really recommended with Vedic astrology, because it's so steeped in spiritual principles, and it's so about having the consciousness to appreciate the larger point of view of the stars and the planets and how they play a role in everything. And so anyway, I went to that school for 10 years, and I was fortunate to befriend my teachers and to have these very deep relationships. And they all were so generous with me, and they gave me books, and they gave me computers, and they took my, you know, late night phone calls, and they just poured their knowledge into me. And I'll forever be grateful. I could never have done it the way people do it now. They do it online, they watch YouTube videos, you know, and I couldn't have done it without that personal relationship with my teachers.
Right, right, Carol.
Yeah.
So instead of, uh, thinking of being a movie star,
Yes.
which you could have, for sure, I can tell you, then why did you spend these 10 years learning something? Did
Uh-huh.
you have anything in mind to do with that knowledge? Did you think, what will you do with that knowledge? What will you make of your life? Did you have a sense at that point in time that there will be
Yes.
an understanding of these things in the US? Will there be a market also for these things where people will be able wanting to pay, because the whole culture is different?
Yes,
How?
the culture is different. Well, but I will tell you, I will say people here are extremely open. And I've always lived in California, where people are very, very open minded, and they're so thirsty for spiritual insight and for guidance. And they're so fascinated by it. And I actually found it was very, very easy to get clients for it. And so I don't know. I didn't have any big plan or any big goals. I just loved it, and I just loved sharing it. And I just started giving readings to friends, and then they would send their friends, and then they would send their mothers, and then they would send their boyfriends. And then,
Mother-in-laws also.
yes, exactly. And, you know, my mentor, one of my teachers, used to say, you know, you're certified by God if your phone keeps ringing, right? And my phone just kept ringing. And so I didn't, while I was studying, I was also sharing, and I was getting so much feedback. and people were so appreciative, and they wanted more. And so that really spurred me on. So it wasn't like 10 years where I was locked in a room and I wasn't in any kind of communication. But I started giving readings probably a year or two into it. And it just made me want to learn more.
Right, Carol. So,
Yeah.
what do your clients come to you for? And what you suggest to them, are they ready to listen? Is it implementable for them? Again, because especially the younger generation, they
Right.
have their own ideas about things, and
Yes.
they may not look at the same things the same way that you look at it. How
Right.
does this work on the ground?
Well, I will say, I think because now I'm in midlife, I mostly have clients in midlife. And so by the time they're willing to call someone like me, they're exhausted doing it their way. They're just like, they're sick of doing it their way. So I actually find people really open and really, for the most part, willing. Most people call me when things are not working. And they always want to know about two topics: love and money, love and money, love and money, right? And sometimes they have a medical thing, and sometimes they're trying to buy a house and they want a good date to sign a contract. And, sometimes they want something very specific, but for the most part, they want to know about love and money. And so, but even the money conversations always turn into love conversations. It always turns into relationship stuff. And all my colleagues say the same thing. All people want to talk about is love. It's our primary desire as humans, is to connect with other humans, So,
Right, right. So
yeah.
when you say that the law of attraction isn't enough, and there is
Well,
so much problem in this life, in communication between couples, in
yeah.
relationships, then why is it that we blame each other and rather blaming it on the stars? How does that work? Isn't there is there some compartmentalization that should happen, that okay, the communication part we need to work and the stars will do something else? How does these things work? uh, where do you blame the stars and where do you blame yourself? Because if I keep on blaming the stars, then I will never be able to look at myself and rectify things. We are human after all. We can make mistakes, and we make many
Yes.
mistakes in relationships.
Oh,
How would you
yes.
like to put that?
Oh, gosh. Well, I think, again, I don't think there's any separation. So I think the key to a happy life, AJ, I'll save all of you a hike to the Himalayas, right? The key to a happy life is to take 100% responsibility for your life, to own your part, right? To own your actions, your behaviors, your choices, your decisions, to not blame anyone or your fate or your destiny or God or anything, right? Is to say, I am responsible. And again, it's like, we all come in with a dharma. We all come in with a divine plan and a divine purpose and a divine design. And the way you know it is by your feelings. And so, again, I'm just going to come back to trust yourself. And in relationships, my favorite relationship tip is to really be your partner's best friend and really be on their side. And as much as you can, give them what they want when they want it. And don't say no to them. And if two people are giving each other what they want and aren't saying no, you're going to have two blissful people, right? But we say no all day long to each other. We say, you shouldn't think that, you shouldn't feel that, you're wrong, don't eat like that, don't vote like that. Why are you wearing that? Why are you going there? Why are you friends with that person? And we have so many ways that we disconnect from the people we love. And what we have to do, even when we disagree with what the people we care about are doing, we have to lean in. We have to say, help me understand. Help me understand why this matters to you, or what's important to you, so that I can support you. What do you need from me so that you can be happier? And if they're the right person, what they need from you won't be bad for you. Because I'm not saying be codependent and just say yes to everything if it's not good for you. If it's really the right person, what they want will be good for you too. So, yeah.
Right, right. So you talk about, 5 critical keys to love.
Yes,
And
yes.
yes, what are those, so that it becomes much more easy for people to
Yes.
remember and implement?
Well, I love this question. Thank you. Because, I think when it comes to astrology, people focus on two things. They focus on timing, like, is it time for love? And then they focus on compatibility. And I have to say that the techniques for compatibility in Vedic astrology are astonishing. They're so accurate. They're so powerful. I'm so grateful. I have learned so much about relationships from these techniques. And that is not enough. It is not enough just to have it be the right time and to be compatible with someone. The most important question, and this is according to the ancient books on horoscopes and matching people, the most important thing is, are both people healthy enough to be in a relationship in the first place? Because you can be compatible with a bad person. You can feel chemistry and you can laugh at the same things and you can feel really comfortable with someone that's unavailable or not generous or not compassionate or a workaholic or an alcoholic, right? And so you would be better off not being compatible to those people. So the first thing is what's called capacity. Do both people have the capacity? And this can be seen astrologically. In fact, I have a report that is like this 5-page to 10-page report that tells you this person doesn't have the capacity or this person does have the capacity. Because I'm sure you've seen, AJ, in your life, when somebody's a good boyfriend or girlfriend or a good husband or wife, that person is like good to that other person. They're good in their relationships. They take good care of the people they love. And here in the US, where people date a lot before they marry, somebody that's a bad boyfriend or a bad girlfriend, they're bad to everybody. you know so it's not like, oh, it's me. No, it's them. So those are the three. Then the fourth is person A the kind of person B is looking for. You can be compatible, you can both be healthy. It can be the right timing for love, just like love was predicted for me, it can be predicted. uh, but maybe one person wants to live in the city and the other person wants to live in the country. Maybe one person wants a traditional marriage where the woman stays home and raises the children, but maybe that woman wants to be a doctor now that she has the degree, right? Like, so you have to both want the same life and you have to have the same values. And that is something to discuss before making that big commitment. Uh, so that's four. And then the fifth is, do both people have good relationship skills? And relationship skills are things we're not taught in school. And many of us had parents that did not model good relationship skills. So there is so much relationship research that really has proven in a laboratory setting over and over and over again, predictably, who will marry, who will stay together, and who will divorce by watching how they interact and how they really communicate. And so it's been found that the divorce rate can be can be dropped by 50% in couples headed to divorce simply by teaching them better relationship skills. So don't wait until you're to the point of divorce. Like, take it upon yourself to learn good relationship skills. And really, it comes back to, don't say no to your partner. Don't tell them that their ideas are wrong. Don't tell them that the way they see something isn't how they should see it. And I will say, AJ, men do that a lot with women all over the world. Men tell women they shouldn't think the way they think, feel the way they feel. And then, women do it too. So it's very, very important that we never invalidate the people we love, that instead we really try to support each other. So those are the 5 things. Timing, compatibility, capacity is number 1. Do both people want the same things? And then do both people have good relationship skills? And if you have all of that, you're ding, 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 good to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In this present times, a lot of people are young people who are entering this relationship thing, want to have a relationship, and many more
Yes.
people want to have that serious relationship also. But in understanding your insights also tell that you've got to be also patient, and understand what the stars are telling you.
Yeah.
But a lot of young people are told of to get things faster. They believe, like I saw that advertisement on your YouTube channel, you're having that ice cream. So people think life is
Right.
also an ice cream, have it before it melts. To those people, how would you like to tell about being patient, being wait for the right person, use your brains, use your heart, use your skills, use the knowledge what stars are telling? How do they balance these things together and find the person they actually love and who
Well,
loves them back?
it really comes down to faith, AJ. It's a kind of faith. And what I love about being an astrologer is I help people have faith. I help people see, no, you don't have to rush right now. It's not time. It's time in 2 years, or it's time in 5 years, or it's time in 3 years. And so don't try to force it when it isn't time. And, you're in Delhi. I mean, throw your arm out and you'll hit a Vedic astrologer. They're everywhere. They're at every hotel. They're in every family, and there are so many amazing ones right out your door. And so find out your timing, find out your map, and then trust that. And if it isn't time, instead of trying to force it, which is what I did in my 20s, I tried to force it. And instead, I just got a lot of heartbreak. I got a lot of rejection. I got a lot of disappointment. I had so many blind dates, AJ, that would stand me up. I'd be sitting at the restaurant and no one would come. I mean, it was horrible, right? And then I dated so many men that drank too much. It's very common, with young people, is to party too much. It was awful. And then when it was my season, I call them seasons of love, it was effortless. It was like, there he was, and he said all the right things, and he did all the right things, and he didn't drink, and he didn't stand me up, and I wasn't alone in a restaurant waiting, and so it's really about faith. It's like in life, we've all heard this, there's either fear or faith. And if you're making your decisions from fear, those are decisions you will regret.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You have so much of understanding of these things about love, about relationship, about the astrology part of it. You have also got this book, Love is in the Stars, the
Yes.
Wise Women's Astrological. Tell us, who is this book for? And you also got this newsletter also, Love is in the Stars. So
Yes.
who is this? Who are these for? How can people access this? Also, how can people connect with you, those who want to know more about these things and also want to engage with you professionally?
So they can find everything. Thank you so much for asking at loveisinthestars.com. Loveisinthestars.com. To make it simple, it's also at soulmatestars.com, soulmatestars.com. The book is for any, I mean, I write for women because women sought me out the most. I love working with men. I love men. I've been blessed to know so many kind, generous men. All my teachers were men. So I don't mean to leave the men out. It's just 99% of my clients for 30 years have been women. And what I appreciate about men is by the time they're asking for help, they really want it. And when you tell a man what to do, it's like telling a soldier, they just do it. Women are like, but why? But what if that doesn't work? But are you sure? Like women want like so much, so many questions answered, and men are just like, okay, what else? So it's all at Love is in the Stars. My newsletter is there. I have a compatibility report that was written by one of my mentors that's unbelievable. It uses this ancient technique for arranging marriages that is astonishing. And then we have a capacity report there. And then we have a report about block timing. Are you in a season of loneliness, I call them. And these, of course, are cycles of Saturn, when the planet Saturn is really prominent on you in your chart. And that's when it's very hard to find love. And it's very hard to find people that are available. So, and that's what was going on in my 20s. I was totally blocked. Yeah. So I have all kinds of fun stuff there. And they can all write to me through my newsletter and through my website. Yeah.
Right. My last question to you, Carol,
Yes.
is that earlier on you did not have this knowledge, but now you not only have the knowledge, you
Yes.
give a lot of solutions to people. What have the stars told you for yourself and for your future? How do you see yourself in the future as per the stars?
Oh, wow. Well, that is an interesting question. I mean, I'm really, really fortunate in that I really feel I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I'm pretty much happy every day. And I don't know, I'm hopeful. My chart says I will live to be old, and I'm getting there. so I think I will always do this, to be honest. I think I will do this for a long time. I have a chart with all my planets are in what are called mostly movable signs, and the movable signs make a person creative. So I love to write. I love to speak. I love creating, programs, and then I love to travel. I do workshops all over the US, and I'm starting to take them to Mexico this year. I would love to come to India. I've never been to Mother India, and I owe India everything. So hopefully that will happen. So I hope to do a lot more traveling and a lot more creating, and I will always be a grateful astrologer.
With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you so much. This was absolutely lovely. I appreciate it so much. And God bless everyone listening today.